Hello friends, today we are going to find out the resistance per unit length of the Carey-Foster Bridge wire, and we will also find out the value of an unknown low resistance using the same Carey-Foster bridge. From the name of the experiment, we can interpret that there are two parts of this experiment. So in the first part, we are going to determine the resistance per unit length of the Carey-Foster bridge, and in the second part we are going to determine the value of unknown low resistance. So basically a Carey-Foster bridge is a modified form of the meter bridge. It also works on the same principle as Wheatstone bridge. So let us take a circuit diagram of Wheatstone bridge. So I have modified this diagram in a way in which instead of showing QS as separate resistances, I have shown this as a resistive wire. I have shown this using a red line, which is a resistive wire in this case. In Carey-Foster bridge, we see that we have just added two additional resistances towards the right and left of this resistive wire. Now let us move to this experiment. To perform this experiment, we need a regulated power supply, a galvanometer, two identical resistance boxes, one fractional resistance box. So fractional resistance box can provide very low values of resistances, a copper strip, a jockey, and some connecting wires. And finally, here is our Carey-Foster bridge. To perform this experiment, we are going to make this circuit diagram. So let's start with the first part of the experiment, in which we are going to find out the resistance per unit length of the Carey-Foster bridge wire. Initially, we will connect the positive of our DC regulated power supply with the space between two slots towards left side. Similarly, the negative of the DC regulated power supply will be connected to the space between two empty slots towards right side. And you can also check that in the diagram the symbol demonstrating battery has been highlighted. Now we will take two identical resistance boxes and we will name them as P and Q, and will connect them in the inner slots as shown in the circuit. After that, we will connect the fractional resistance box, which is at position X, and as we connect this fractional resistance box has also been highlighted in the diagram. Finally, we will take the copper strip and place this at the place of Y shown in the diagram. Now in the next step, we will add our galvanometer to this apparatus. So for this we are taking galvanometer and jockey. The middle of the copper strip is attached to the one end of the galvanometer, and other end of the galvanometer is connected with the jockey. So in this way we have completed our circuit. Now we can start performing our experiment. So first we will switch on our power supply, apply same resistances in resistance box P and box Q. We are applying equal resistances in both boxes because in this case the sensitivity of Carey-Foster bridge is the maximum. Now apply a fractional resistance of around 0.1 ohm in our fractional resistance box X and place the jockey on the bridge wire. You will see that when you place the jockey on the bridge wire, at some place it is showing a clockwise deflection, and when you touch at some other place you will find that it is showing anti-clockwise deflection. So we can guess that there must be some point in between them where it is showing no deflection at all. This is the stable point in this arrangement. Now we will measure the length of this wire from the left end and call it as L1. After that we will break the connection of jockey with the bridge wire, and will also take out the X fractional resistance box and Y copper strip. Now we will switch this X and Y. So at the place of the fractional resistance box we are putting copper strip, and at the place of copper strip we are going to put fractional resistance box and we'll connect it with the bridge once again. Now again, for this arrangement we are going to find our stable point and measure it from the left end of the bridge and call it as L2. So in this way we have determined the stable points in both the arrangements and named them as L1 and L2. So according to the theory of Carey-Foster bridge, if we apply the principle of Wheatstone bridge on this system, we can derive the expression that the resistance of X minus Y is equal to K L2 minus L1. K is the quantity we require, which is the resistance per unit length of the wire. But in this experiment we have taken Y as the copper strip and we can consider that its resistance is 0. So this equation is modified in this form, and from this equation we can calculate the value of K, which is the resistance per unit length of the meter bridge wire. Now we are going to make a table. So in this table, first we applied the fractional resistance of 0.1 ohm and calculated the stable points L1 and L2 for this, and we can find the value of K in the last column. For better accuracy, we can repeat this experiment 2 more times with different values of X, and finally we can take the mean value of K and get the value of resistance per unit length of the bridge wire. Now we will switch to the second part. We come back to our old configuration in which X is towards left outer gap of the Carey-Foster bridge and Y is towards right outer gap of the bridge, and P and Q are at the inner gaps of the bridge. So now we are going to calculate the value of an unknown low resistance. So in the place of Y we are going to attach this low resistance in this bridge. Now again, in this configuration we will find the stable point and will measure this as L1 dash. Similarly, we will take this jockey away and will switch X and Y as we did in the last part, and again we will find out the stable point for this particular configuration and call this as L2 dash. Finally, we will make a table of this. So initially we applied a fractional resistance of 0.1 ohm. For that arrangement we found two stable points in configuration 1 and configuration 2 and named them as L1 dash and L2 dash, and in the last column using our formula we determine the value of Y. For better accuracy we repeat this experiment and finally take a mean of it. So in this way we can determine the value of resistance per unit length of a Carey-Foster bridge wire and also determine the value of an unknown low resistance. Hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share my video and subscribe to my channel. Have a good day.